Greetings everyone and welcome back. You are watching the Vintage Sewing Machine Garage here on YouTube, and I am going today to attempt to reapply something that turned out to be an easier solution than what I originally thought I was in for. In the last video, if you haven't seen it, go back and take a look. You will see that I had to figure out because why my dial seemed to not, I thought my dial wasn't moving properly, because the dial here should basically, the pointer should start here and have a range that comes over this arc over to the other symbol. But it was, the pointer was way down here, and it was only coming up shy of the, just to the right of that red dot. The red dot that you can see a little bit easier if I zoom in for you. There we go. Right there. So we took the set screw off. Didn't seem to make any difference. Oiled it and put the set screw back in. But as I was turning it, I thought, I wonder if in fact this little piece was something I've seen in the late 60s, early 70s in particular. You could also see it in earlier machines. They would sometimes have hardware and then they would cover it with something. And you will see this on some of the 1970s Kenmores because they have a similar piece of foil that covers the hand wheel, the center of the hand wheel. Now, so what I did was I've gotten this again. I kind of swiveled the symbol around until I got the pointer so that it's equally balanced. So when you turn it here, right, it comes just to the right of the farthest right symbol, and over here it comes just to the left of the farthest left symbol. So that's how I know that the pointer is in the right position. And what I'm going to do to make sure that I do not lose sight of that pointer, I'm going to make sure that it lines up with the red dot that you see right here. Okay, because that puts it in the center. And I'm gonna leave the dial alone. I'm not gonna keep moving it. That'll throw things off again. And then I'm gonna come back and take the piece that needs to be reattached with some more permanence. And you want to take something, you don't want to bend it or destroy it. And there it went, woo, went flying. What you really want to do is have something that's very small. If you don't have the little tool I have, you could also use one of these really small, this is a vintage Singer screwdriver designed for, it's designed to adjust tension on Singer or any bobbin case set screws. So I've got the piece, and what you're seeing on the back here, that's not grease or oil. That's old glue, really old glue. It may look like old grease or oil, but it's not. So what I want to do first is I want to get this cleaned, because for those of you who have ever bothered to read the directions on glue or even paint when you're painting something, they will often tell you, they'll say, hey, make sure surface is clean and free of all dust, dirt, and grease and oil, and they mean it. So we're going to do that here because the new glue needs to be able to stick. So I've got my 99% isopropyl and a cotton swab. Yes, you guessed it. Of course I have a cotton swab here. And I'm just going to take this, and a lot of this is just coming right off. Glue typically, when it's old, it gets brittle. At least the glues from this era did. And just come back and I'm doing this not for aesthetics, right? And it's not rust. This is a foil piece. All of this, if this were a piece of steel, you might say, well, maybe it's rust, but it's not. So I'm just trying to get as much of this glue off as I can not so much worried about making it pretty as getting it clean. Okay. Now some of this residue may not come off. In fact, some of it I'm pretty sure is not. And I'm going to, like I said, getting as, if it wants to come off and you're using 99% isopropyl alcohol, it will come off. I'm making sure that I'm not getting any of that alcohol on the indicator side, the side that faces the sewer, because I don't know what this is, if it's some sort of paint, and I do not want to lose that. It's a beautiful shape. So remember, I've told all of you, isopropyl alcohol, you see me use it a lot, but remember, it is strong stuff, and the last thing you want to do is harm your machine with it. So that's true for any kind of paint. All right, so we got that clean. We'll set that aside for a moment. And let's go back to the place where that piece flopped off of. What we're seeing, and again, I want to cover this. I've got paper towels underneath because some of this is just old glue and it's basically flaking off here. And this is the same thing, and you all know this if you've ever tried to paint something and you didn't bother getting loose paint off, you know what happens. The new stuff won't stick. So I'm making sure that I want to get all this loose off because, we're going to be gluing a piece of foil to a piece of plastic. So, and even if it was another material, you just don't want anything that is loose, because if it is, your gluing efforts will be in vain, and whatever it is you're trying to get to adhere is just going to plop off again. All right, let's come back with some. We'll try a dry cotton swab right now, and let's see what that takes off. Probably take off quite a bit. You can see that. Again, it's just coming off. In fact, it's quite easy to take off. And this knob is, I'm going to take just a little bit of isopropyl and see if making sure I get anything that's loose, unstable, right? If it's a stain and it's not really coming off, the stain should not, really interfere with the new glue working, right? It's what I'm trying to avoid. And I'm going to get on top of this piece of steel because surely there will be some residue of glue on that as well. So I don't know if when the little set screw secured this dial, I don't know why it was so hard to get off. They may have also glued it on there too. Maybe they didn't. Although it just seems counter to why would they have had a set screw to allow you to remove it if they didn't want to allow you to remove it? So, all right, regardless. Now, what are we going to use? Well, I have something I've had for a while, and I think it's still good. Glues do not last forever. They can go bad. But this is something I bought some time ago. It is it's called plastic and emblem adhesive. It's used to, all of our automobiles have plastic stuff on them that can pop off. And this is designed to specifically for that, for things. And honestly, there may be other glues that would work for this as well, but in this case, I'm gonna use this glue. The glue is almost ready to need to be replaced, but I'm gonna see if I can get to use it. Gonna have to, let's see here. Tilt our camera down. Gonna have to poke a hole in the top of the tube here. Now, I don't know. This is not like a car, piece of car trim, obviously. It's not going to be under the same stress and weather conditions. So who knows? Maybe just a basic glue would work. They have lots of glues in the store, but I had this. So do not assume that you need to go out and buy the 3M plastic glue just to do this for your sewing machine. Any glue that you ever use, you want to read and read what kind of materials it's good for. So you can see here, I'm just going to squeeze this. Trying to see if anything's coming out here. Yeah, it's coming, just slow. There we go. All right, so I'm going to put the glue on the surface, and I don't even need to get it on the very outer part. Just, well, I think I did anyway. So this glue, it says you should put the two surfaces together, and then you're supposed to pull this back, supposedly, and you can see the glue. This is why you need paper towels. You do not want this glue. This glue is not. Most glues are a pain to clean up, so you don't want to get them on your machine or your table or on yourself for that matter. All right. So I'm going to come back really quickly. The glue will sometimes want to sort of create those little stretchy strings of cobweb. And I'm going to see if it will let me pull it back. The glue doesn't set instantly. It's very stinky glue, so it has solvent. You have some work time. All right, come out of there, you. Again, trying really hard. I don't want to damage this. I don't want to bend it. I just want it to behave. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to pop it back off. Here we go. And it says, do this. And you're supposed to wait, I don't know, 15, 20 seconds or something like that. I don't know the chemistry of glue enough to tell you, but basically it has something to do with how it forms bonds, and that's about all I can come up with, and that's not even a layman's understanding. If any of you are adhesive chemists, then let us know. Inquiring minds want to know. Okay, so what am I going to do? While I still have working time, I'm leaving my dial alone. Don't move the dial. We know where that's supposed to go now. And then I'm going to line up the pointer with the red dot. And then I'm going to press and hold for, I think it said 30 seconds, something like that. When it comes to adhesive, some things are harder to get to bond than others. Sometimes it's chemical, sometimes it's because they're under stress. But this is a light piece of foil, and it really does not get asked to do very much. The foil is, it is what it is. It's really not that big of a deal. So I'm not all that concerned about it. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry. I don't really need to touch this for now anyway. I have other fish to fry with this machine, but I was expecting to have to do a lot more to figure this knob situation out, but the good news is, well, the machine apparently is moving the way it should. It's just that its indicator knobs were off kilter, and I don't think that this dial ever actually shifted. Sometimes that can happen, but that set screw was so tight. I really think the glue was coming loose and was moving when people would turn it. Some people might be able to, maybe they were touching this when they were turning. My hands are too large to even touch the center of this dial, but for someone they may have, and I think that was, anyway, it's all good at the end of the day because it seems to be working, and I'm glad I knew it was loose because I don't want this to get lost. We want that glue. This one seems to be fine. I can't see that it's moving at all. And so I'll let, I'm not gonna ask it to do anything since it's behaving properly. And so sometimes you go in, You think you know what the problem is, and then you discover, well, it was actually something else, and it actually wasn't as bad or as convoluted or complex. So, hey, sometimes you get gravy, and that's okay. That's wonderful. I appreciate all of you watching as I systematically, and God help me with patience, I am going to eventually, hopefully, get this machine into a position where it wants to run again. And then we will see what it's made of. I appreciate all of you subscribing to this channel. If you haven't, feel free to do so. And you can also donate to the Buy Me a Coffee links all over the channel. And if you have a Simpsons sewing machine, or maybe you have one that looks just like this, but it may not say Simpsons. It could say Seamstress, it could say Omega perhaps, or maybe Montgomery Ward, although I'm still not sure. I may be mixing that up with another machine. There are thousands and thousands of machine models over the years, folks. But anyway, if you have a machine like this, I would love to hear about it. And if you don't, I'd love to hear from you anyway. Put your comments down below, and we'll see you next time.